Welcome to Gapology Radio Podcast with authors Mark Tinas and Brian Brockhoff. We can be reached at gapology.org, and our books can be found at amazon.com.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Gapology Radio Podcast. This is your host Brian Brockhoff, and this is the place where you'll find everything Gapology, IMBAR, and more. Let's give Mark Tinas a call and see what he's up to.
Hey Brian.
Hey Mark, how are you doing?
I'm great, how are you?
I'm doing very well today. It's a nice, beautiful Tuesday here in Kansas City.
Same here in California. Good to hear.
That's good. Hey, I just wanted to let you know our podcast is on Spotify, so we've been selected for that, so good news there.
Awesome. I've been getting a lot of great feedback, so thank you.
Yeah, great. So what are your discoveries this week?
Well, we're going to talk about mindset.
Yeah, perfect.
It is a big deal, so...
Yeah, for sure.
You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
So, mindset is the M in IMBAR, for any of you that haven't read IMBAR, I-M-B-A-R. And mindset it's how we think, how we feel, and it has a big impact on our results. So let me give you a quick lesson in IMBAR. Identity is the I, and that passes through our mindset, the M, which creates our behavior, what we do, which creates the actions, the A, the actions of those around us, the actions of others, which creates our results. So if you're ever unhappy with your results, often the M, mindset, is the reason. It's really a lens. I think you've heard me say that, Brian. It's a lens that our identity passes through before it can create results. The biggest thing about mindset is we control it. We own it. We can affect it. The research we did for IMBAR and the amazing work that we learned from other leaders there led us to the 4 dimensions of mindset, the 4 phases of mindset, and I'm going to teach those today. So if you can take notes, do it. But if not, I'm gonna try and make it real simple for everybody, and I think you'll understand it. If you're driving in your car, just listen along. So anything on mindset, Brian, before I jump into the four phases?
Yeah, I think one of the most important things to remember with this is that it's really how you think and how you feel, like you said. So that's really an intellectual piece, but it's also an emotional piece. The two things are very linked together. And when you go after this, you really have to look at both sides of it. You have to look at the intellect, so how you're thinking about things. A lot of times that's very tactical, but it's also how you feel about things. It's that emotional piece. And a lot of times that emotional piece is something that's hard to control. But if you look at IMBAR through that lens, that it's both mental and emotional, I think you can really get hold of it.
Yeah, I like that, and it's so true. And if you think about it, if you just take what you just said and simplify it, we know that people with a bad mindset or a bad attitude don't produce good results.
Right.
It's that simple.
Yep.
It's that simple. And if you look at it then from an IMBAR standpoint, the M has a negative impact on the B. So our behavior then is not what it should be. And that impacts those around us. That's the A. And that impacts the results. You've got to control your mindset to have great results. And the winning leaders have great control of their mindset. That doesn't mean it's always positive. It means they're in control. It means they know they can affect it, and they do so. And that affects results. So, all right. Well, let me jump in. In the 60s, there was a pioneer in all of this by the name of Earl Nightingale, and he said, "We become what we think." And wow, that could not be more true. So a positive mindset will tend to mean positive results. There's other elements to getting there, but it's sort of one of the qualifiers. A negative mindset will almost guarantee negative results. There's a number of other factors, but it throws the whole process off. What we discovered is that there's 4 phases of mindset, and I'm going to work you through those real quickly and teach you how to control them. So the first is And these are linear. So these go from left to right, if you want to look at them that way. And to the left, then, we're in the first phase, which is adversity. Adversity is sort of negative mindset. Let's call it woe is me. And some people spend their whole life here, and they never produce what they could produce. And they are a victim, would be how I would categorize it. And the biggest thing they have to do is own that mindset and understand that they're the ones creating it, not others, and that it actually is a choice. And the adversity mindset, which causes others around you to also slip into the adversity mindset, perpetuating. And as soon as you own it, you can leave it. You can walk away from it. It's really that simple, yet it seems that difficult. So, Brian, anything on adversity?
Yeah, we're all hit with adversity. In fact, there's a quote, I think it's by the famous philosopher Rocky Balboa, that says, life is not about how hard you can hit, but how much you can get hit and still keep moving forward. Yeah, that quote really speaks to adversity and overcoming adversity. And if you can take a step back and look at your life from a distance, a lot of the adversity that you see is controllable. A lot of it does stem from your mindset, from your identity. And looking at it objectively, I think a lot of times you can see that you can definitely move through it.
Yeah. There's another quote that we have in the book, which I love. Adversity breaks many men, but it causes others to break records. So that sort of leads us to how you get out of the adversity mindset. And the second phase is realization. So as soon as you realize that the adversity mindset that you're in is being caused by you, you can leave it. You can walk away from it. We all enter a negative mindset at times. And the key is walking away from it, realizing that we're there and turning around and taking action to move away from it. And the realization mindset is just that. It's a realization that we are the solution, that we are in control, that we are responsible, and that we are the source of the adversity. Stop blaming others, own it, step up, realize that you're the only one that can change it, and move on. So the adversity mindset and the realization mindset are closely connected, but they're miles apart for those that are just trapped in the adversity mindset. So thoughts on realization?
Yeah, I think this is such a difficult phase for a lot of people. Everybody can stand back and go, yeah, I ran into this wall. I have this adversity in my life. But making that conscious decision that, you know what, I own it. I need to take a step back. I need to make a change. That's very difficult for people.
Yeah, I think often it's easier to blame others.
Yeah.
And hang out in the adversity mindset. There's some comfort there.
Yep.
The realization mindset can be somewhat uncomfortable because you got to look in the mirror. Brian and I often joke we should just carry around a mirror because whenever we run into a problem, just hold up the mirror and there's the issue.
Yep.
So you go from the adversity mindset to the realization mindset, and now you're really on this linear path. Again, view it from left to right. And the third mindset phase is reimage. This is about transformation, and this is about doing things to move out of and move away from adversity. In the book, we actually offer 8 methods of transformation. And transformation in this case is just, transforming your mindset. And one of the examples of one of the methods is very simple: to start one new behavior and to stop one old behavior. And you look at yourself and you say, okay, I'm going to stop this and I'm going to start this effective today. That is the re-imaging process. So you just begin with that one simple step, and you can do it. And you take it one day at a time. And you can totally change yourself, and you can change those around you. Those of us that are leaders, those of us that are parents, I think we may at times underestimate the impact we have on those around us. our subordinates, our team, our kids, our significant others, etc. We are a significant source of their mindset, good or bad. So when we change our mindset, we actually create a support group around us with a more positive mindset. But when we have a negative mindset, we create a support group around us with a negative mindset. So it becomes somewhat self-fulfilling. These 8 methods of transformation, which are in the reimaging mindset, are just simple things that we can all do, and we can immediately move and reimage and continue to move away from adversity. Thoughts, Brian?
Yeah, I think it's important that people pull out their copy of IMBAR, or if they don't have it, pick one up, because this part is really important. Some of those things can be really simple to do. Other things are a little harder, but seeing those things as opportunities to grow, I think, is huge. A lot of people, they have difficult things in their life that they have to face, and just walking away from it is difficult. But if you start with the small thing, like you said, if you can start by changing one thing, stopping one thing, starting something else, a lot of times that just teaches your brain that, I can make a change. I can make a difference in my own life.
Yeah, so true, so true. So the 4th phase, where we all want to live, where we all want to hang out, is the dominance mindset phase. This is one of self-control. You're in charge. It's one of confidence. It's one of empowered. It's one where we look at adversity as a challenge and just conquer it rather than accept it. We're very powerful as human beings. We can overcome anything. And as soon as we realize that and learn to live in the dominance mindset, we can go back there. We can have an adversity, slip off to the left, and go right back to the right and move right back to dominance because we've learned how to do it. So the dominance mindset is where we want to live. So I don't want to go into too much detail, but what we found is that the winning leaders, the top performers, have the ability to live in that dominance mindset most of the time. Yes, they had adversity. Many of them had adversity thrown at them on a daily basis. It was how they approached it. It's how they viewed it. They viewed it as something to conquer, something to knock down. And they were able to move away from it immediately. They viewed problems just as opportunities. And if you can teach it to your team, it will change their lives. If you can teach it to their kids, it will change their lives. So read IMBAR if you get time. It's of great significance. Talk a little bit about dominance, Brian, and then I've got a few things to close.
Yeah, I think the dominance phase is so powerful. Once you live in that phase, you can start applying those things that you learn, that you feel, to other things. So that the next time you face adversity, if you have experienced that dominance phase, you can really start to apply those things. The interesting thing I think about identity and mindset and how those two are really linked is, a lot of people, they blame how they were raised, or they blame their history, something in their past for kind of where they're at. And a lot of those things do cause, your current mindset. But making those choices to change your identity, making the choices to change your mindset, gives that power back to yourself. If you don't create your own identity, if you don't create your own mindset, what you're doing is you're allowing other people or the environment to create those things for you.
Yeah, that's well put. That was good, Brian. Thanks.
Yep.
So one of the tricks we learned here is you've got to be able to identify which mindset phase you're in at any given moment. And again, we're fluid. We move back and forth. It's not like those that are in the dominance mindset are always there. They will move out of it. So what mindset phase are you in? Are you in adversity? If so, you can correct that. Are you in realization? So the purpose of this podcast would be to help you move from adversity to realization if you were in the adversity mindset. Are you in the reimaging phase at this given moment? That's awesome if so. And again, you can apply those 8 methods and continue the reimaging process. If you have gotten to dominance and understand that, you can always go back there. So do you live the majority of the time in the dominance mindset? If so, you're likely very successful. So you've got to know where you're at to know how to move, again, towards the dominance mindset and move back there. So that's one of the things you've got to work on. So mindset is really our best friend or our worst enemy. So it really depends on how we view it and what we do with it. And as soon as we learn that it's within our control, it's all about us, we own it, everything changes. And that's the bottom line. We own our mindset. It's not somebody else's. It's ours. And we can change it, and we can change it today. We can change it in a given moment, in a given instant. So own your mindset, know where you're at in the phases, and you become very powerful, and you will become successful because of it. Brian, I'll turn it to you with any other closing comments.
Yeah, no, Mark, I think that's a perfect way to end the podcast for this week. Own your mindset. That's perfect.
Thank you, Brian. Thanks for getting our podcast off Spotify. I've gotten a lot of positive feedback from people listening on Spotify, so
awesome.
Great job.
Awesome. That's great. Thanks, Mark. All right.
Have a great week.
Yeah, have a good week. I'll talk to you later. Okay, that's it for this week. As a reminder, we do offer Gapology workshops. We also offer certification for Gapology, and we also offer individual coaching on IMBAR. Feel free to reach out to us at contact@gapology.org or head on over to our website for more information. Everyone have a fantastic week. We'll talk to you soon.
This has been a Gapology production. Visit us at gapology.org.